Okay, everyone, this is just a brief follow-up Zoom to Lab 4. If you would watch that, I had was sharing my screen with you, which I'll do right now, um, with the contents of the course, and we were looking at the lab. All right, hold on, let me stop my share just briefly for a second. Hold on, I have to reconnect um, my page. Hold on, let me go back. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, but had to re-establish the picture, the web page that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so now I'm back in. All right, so here is our lab four, that for which the other Zoom is covering the contents of this lab. And I said that you were to identify these different parts of the microscope, but when in the images, the image of the microscope was not there. So what I did was I rescanned an image and labeled it appropriately and put it up there for you. Under images here, it will be the first one. So we have, oops, I misspelled that. I'll correct that. The microscope. And it was supposed to be the other way, but in any event, here's a picture of the microscope. It identifies the ocular lens, the eyepiece. The ocular lens has a 10x magnification. The nose piece, a revolving nose piece. Here are our objective lenses or magnification lenses. We have often three, if not four. It just depends on the microscope. Each individual lens contributes a certain amount of magnification. The smallest one, or what's called scanning, is 4x, low power is 10x, high power is 40x. And if you have a fourth one, it's oil immersion, that would be 100x. And your total magnification is taking the source, the eyepiece 10x, and the objective lens you're currently using, and it's the product of both of those sources. So what we mean is you would take 10x times 4x if I was using scanning, and the total magnification would be 40x. I don't believe I ask any questions like that. I just wanted to make sure that I provided the picture. You get to know these parts when we use it in AMP1 and AMP2, and then you really need to know this in microbiology. The other remaining uh, parts of the microscope you were to be able to identify was the mechanical stage, the stage clips, not the iris diaphragm, you don't have to know that, the arm, the coarse adjustment knob, the fine adjustment knob, um, the lamp, and I think that's really it. Not every single thing on here, but just about. This picture is from what we call the recommended lab book by Ammerman, but I often just give you an image, or that identifies all these parts, and that's what I wanted to do, was just to be comprehensive in that I didn't want to leave you hanging. I also wanted to go back and add that I put something else in there for your um, perusal. Is below the PDF document, which is the actual lab for this week. I have a PowerPoint there, and it is a PowerPoint of a lot of the models that are used in the lab, and they're just kind of labeled up a little bit differently. So here is what I call the cookie sheet model, where we can see the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. This, is indicating the A, the B, the C. So the A would be the sudoriferous gland or the sweat gland. B is the sebaceous or oil gland. C is the hair follicle. Here we have that smaller model. I think we were looking at this same one in one of those pictures with in the images provided, where you're identifying the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. Not a terribly clear picture. Much better. Identifying your free nerve ending in A, the Meissner's corpuscle, Pacinian corpuscle. Over to the right-hand side and lower over in that corner, that's a Pacinian corpuscle also. I kind of like the one in the lower right-hand corner better. Here is a slide. Here's your epidermis, and then your dermis, and your hypodermis is way to the bottom once you see that fatty tissue there. So these are just some other images of slides that we've used in the past. I had it. I thought, hey, it can't hurt for you to see more images. This is representative of dense regular connective tissue, stained a little different color than what we saw in the other images provided. This is generally found in the dermis. Here is another example of simple cuboidal epithelial tissue. Instead of being in the little circles, that kind of look like bracelets or earrings, here we have them. This is from the tube systems in the kidney, but you have cute little square cells, cuboidal cells with a single nucleus, nice round nucleus in the center, a single layer. Now, even though you see them scattered throughout, they're actually in single layers, kind of like sheets of paper. And I think that might be the last one. Nope, one more. Here we have the skin. All right, this is stratified squamous epithelial tissue. From where you see this purple staining cells, from the bottom portion that is undulated here, called the stratum basale, and upward, right, that's your stratified squamous epithelium. That's the main tissue of the epidermis. Below that, in the lighter purple kind of staining area, that would be the dermis. That's where we find dense irregular connective tissue and a lot of simple cuboidal epithelial tissue because we have a lot of sweat glands and things there. All right, just wanted to bring that to your attention. I periodically find some of these PowerPoints from labs that we were doing like consistently face-to-face, and I would load up these extra pictures on there, and so when I find things that might be useful, maybe I'll pop them up there and resume or add a mini zoom like this and say, hey, this is other extra material. If you choose to study from it, you may find it helpful. All right. Thank you. That is the end.